Joe with Lock It Up. Welcome to beautiful Central Texas. Pretty nice day out today, if you ask me. I think yesterday I only got to be like a high of 100, so it makes for a little bit cooler of a morning. And I am enjoying it. We're in another neighborhood. This one's, I think, newer, maybe early 2000s. Real beautiful trees, full-size trees and all that. I'll have to go back to the street over and show you the view from there. But yeah, awesome little neighborhood here. They got all their own mailboxes. They got all beautifully big trees, at least. I mean, not the biggest, but decent. They all look to be roughly about the same. I can't remember what kind these are. But yeah, nice beautiful morning, out and about. Today's gonna be a little bit of a shorter walk because we're gonna go somewhere today and go check out a job fair for, I think it is just for veterans. So it'll be fun to see what companies are there and what positions are open. So if you're a veteran, you know, thank you for your service to the country. I did 8 years in the Army, and you know, I just couldn't serve anymore just because my condition of my body, so I had to get out. And so, you know, that's what kind of led me here to what I'm doing now. So, you know, I enjoyed the Army. You know, I think if I wanted a little bit more cohesion, you know, a little bit more, like I felt like when I was in the Army, like it wasn't like 100% like that brotherhood, tight-knit kind of thing. And maybe it's just because modern times, but I think if I wanted that, I think the Marine Corps might have been the better choice for me. Just because, I mean, you get a group of Marines together and they'll just be best of buds in about 2 seconds. Army, we're a little more selective. We're like, oh, what'd you do? What unit? Da-da-da-da-da. And then maybe. But maybe it's some kind of a psychology thing I need to look into. We'll see. But yeah, just another beautiful morning. We're gonna do a shorter walk. Feeling good so far. Body's been pretty healthy, so I've been enjoying that. Just stretching. I think stretching, I'm talking like how Doc says, you know, 30 minutes to an hour. It takes a lot of time, but it's saving me. So if you're active now and you're serving, take care of your body. That's my biggest recommendation. Either do a lot of your own research or really pest your doctors into treating you, because I was just submissive and now I'm paying for it, you know, just with not being able to do all the things I want to do. And so that's the hard part. That's the life after the dream, as I like to call it. You know, I lived the dream. The dream is I wanted to become a soldier. I wanted to serve in the Army. And now this is life after you get to do that. You know, I never did any battles or wars or anything like that. I went to Afghanistan for a year, but I just stayed on the FOB the entire time, and I just did my job, which was that. You know, it was my job to stay there, work on the equipment, and that was it. You know, all the infantry and what we had was aviation, so we had helicopters, the Apaches. So those pilots went out there and put in the work, as in, you know, eliminating the enemy, while I just serviced the equipment, and you know, that's part of my job. Yeah, so you know, in the Army you get to pick your job. I mean, everything possible you could think of as a job should be in the Army. Sometimes some positions are more fulfilled to contractors, so there's always that option as well, and we appreciate it. There's a lot of positions and jobs that get done by contractors, and it's usually tasks that are very permanent. You know, if you're in the Army, you get put out to, like, you gotta go out to the field, you gotta go do training, you gotta get deployed. So if you take everyone with you, then you got no one there to do the job. So a lot of those jobs that contractors do are a lot of support and like permanent positions that you can't afford to you know, bring people in, bring people out all the time with the craziness of the Army. So there are a lot of those jobs as well. And then there are some specialized positions where when you become a contractor, you do the same job as you would if you were in the Army. But once again, it's a permanent position that you do. And usually those individuals get paid well. I know, because I've done it before. Best money ever made. But, you know, it's a little competitive. You know, you're getting a great government job, benefits, money, with less of the craziness of the Army life, military life, depending on what branch. And so, yeah, if you join, my biggest regret was I didn't try hard enough. I kind of got suckered into the laziness of the people around me, the non-winners. Those people will always tell you not to do something just because they don't want to put in any of the effort. So I got suckered into that. I'm really great at being a reflection of the people around me. With that being said, if I'm not surrounded by good people, you know, it affects me. So I guess my best thing is now I've learned to be self-efficient, self-motivated. I've always have been, but just haven't always done. So, you know, my regret is when I was in, you know, if I only knew I could do 8 years, I would at least gone as hard as I could for those 8 years, and I would have been able to been a little more proud of myself. You know, I could have jumped up in the ranks a little bit higher. You know, if I'd have stayed in one more month, I would have got the next promotion, which would have been a good one to hit that milestone. But, you know, it's just not how the cards were dealt. And so I think these little things in my life where I like end up falling up short, 90% of it is due to I never applied myself hard enough to the taskings. Man, I think life kind of mocks you that way. It kind of plays that game of, it shows you, and unless when you're oblivious to it, you're not seeing it. But eventually these telltale signs kind of all add up and be like, hey, it's because you're not trying hard enough. And it's like, damn, you're right. And I mean, you don't know at the time, but it shows itself over time. And so I think you have to pick up on those things. A lot of people make the excuse for something not happening, and sometimes, yeah, shit does happen, and I get that, but we can't always blame the outside. We sometimes have to blame ourselves and our actions. But, you know, then there's also things completely out of your control that then people blame themselves for, and they kind of, it's like, it's tricky. It's tricky. It sure is. But if you want to join the military, do a little research. If you want to go, bring me along to a recruiter, you know, someone that's been in, I know what questions to ask. That's a smart idea. Bring a veteran in, someone that enjoyed it at least. Or even if they completely didn't enjoy it, then they're going to try to get the sweetest deal for you that they never got. Like me, I never got a signing bonus. Not one time. I joined what they call a star MOS. And so it's a job that everyone loves, quote unquote. Everyone stays in a little bit longer for these star MOSs. You know, there's more longevity. And so I never got a signing bonus. And once again, it's because I didn't commit. I didn't want to try hard enough. I just kind of wanted to do enough to get by and complete, but never excel. And I think it was after the military where I learned, I mean, years after the military, I learned that that's what I was doing. And so, yeah, if I can go back, I would give 100%. And I hate when people say I give 110. It's not true. I despise that saying. But I would give 100%. If I can go back, I would give 100%. Would the outcome be different? Absolutely. That's what you'd want to do if you went back. You don't want to go back and do the same thing unless what you did was just premium perfection. But yeah, definitely taking care of your body though. That would be another thing I would do a lot better at. You know, where young kids, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old, joining for this whole adventure. I mean, no one, not a lot of people that I knew while I was in were experts at being in the Army. It was all of our first time doing it. So it's not until like maybe year 5 or so is when you actually start kind of getting a little bit more knowledgeable. You can be great in 5 years, sure, but it takes a couple cycles for you to learn, oh, well, this is different, or this happens when I do this. So yeah, don't expect to be an expert within your first year or so. It might take some time. There's a lot of growing pains, that's for sure. Like, I went from Southern California all the way to Georgia for basic, and that was a big culture shock to me, just the difference. I knew it was gonna be more human, and it sure was, but I didn't know, like, all the big trees, all the big bugs, all the different bugs. Like, my first night in basic, you know, you go to drop off your bags and all that stuff, your private items, and I got stung by a mosquito. And my whole left forearm got swollen up, and it was just hot, red, and tight for probably like, it might have been about a week and some change. And that's just because, like, my body doesn't do well with bug bites. I might be allergic to bug bites if I'm honest, but can't confirm at this point. But yeah, and so first week and some change, I had this massively left swollen forearm, and it didn't bug me. It was just kind of like an annoyance, itched and all that good stuff. But yeah, never had a bug bite that bad, you know, coming from Southern California. And then from there, I went to from Georgia, I went to South Korea. South Korea was awesome. Another culture shock. Didn't know what to do. Young 20-year-old kid in a foreign country. Some people had fun with it and did whatever they wanted. I was a little more timid, scared, and just wasn't sure what to do. So I wish I could have enjoyed it more, but I was scared. I was 20. I didn't know what I was doing. But a lot of fun though, a lot of adventures. But yeah. So wrapping up this walk, we did pretty good today. About just right on 2 miles, so not too bad at all if you ask me. Tried to do a short walk. We only went down 3 roads, so think about that. Down and back, essentially on 2 roads. Almost pulled in 2 miles. That's how long these roads are out here. Not bad, not bad. But good for a walk. You just go up and down a street. Can you do that? And you know, it's just sometimes out here in Central Texas, these roads can be a long road. So, I mean, it's good if you only do 1 road and it ends up being a mile. It's not a bad walk. It's a little something, right? But Oakley did great. I did great. We got to do some stretching, get cleaned up, and we got to go drive out to Dallas today. So, hopefully, y'all have a great day. Say goodbye, Oaks. Okay. No? Yeah, a little bit. He's rude. But y'all have a good one. Take care.